Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Zabby here, back again with the Promised Neverland. We're on episode 3, and in the last episode, we got given a time limit. So Norman and Emma and Ray, they're basically given themselves 2 months. That's how long they believe it's sort of, you know, between every time a kid has been, you know, is leaving the farm. So they've got 2 months to get out of there. It's sort of a prison break type feeling, which I love. I love that kind of shit. So hopefully we've got some interesting prison break type stuff coming. There's a new sister that's turned up, Sister Krone, who is essentially like a reinforcements. Basically, it doesn't help Emma, Norman, and Ray in that regard, because now they're going to be on watch. You know, we already know that Isabella is like, she knows something's up. She's got a fucking a GPS with a tracker on each individual kid. So, you know, all it takes is for her to just look at that. Oh, somebody's not where they're supposed to be. You know what I mean? She already knows shit's going down. I mean, that's the reason why she brought this new person in. So yeah. I did say like last week that like the new baby or whatever looks like Emma, but actually the new baby has blue eyes, while Emma has green. I didn't notice that, but the hair's similar. The hair's very similar. So the debate is still out on that, whether or not you know, they've got a specific, like, you know, breeding ground for fucking, you know, with like the parents of these children and whatnot. We don't know what's going on. So yeah, I don't think it's anything else to really talk about. We're just going to get in episode 3, see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 3. Fucking hell. Alright, I need to see. Right, so the second... What's the fucking second episode called? It was the 13th. Right, and so this episode took place on the 18th. Right, so... 5 days went by. Okay, shit. Well, this didn't go the way that I was expecting it to. Sister Krone, like, I had... Because the way that she was acting around Isabella, I was like, right, well, this is perfect. Because the fact that Sister Krone wants to kind of go against and almost, you know, be Isabella's enemy too, it can be used in a way where the kids can sort of use Krone again, like, and Isabella against each other, which could give them more of a chance. Of course, like, you know, I don't know specifically what they would do, but you can use them against each other for the benefit of the kids, right? She came in and talked to them, said, "Thank you for letting me return to this side." Does that mean side of the wall? Something I guess I could take away from that. It depends on what she means by side. That hasn't really been elaborated, so it's hard to tell. But I'm guessing if it's, you know, to return to this side of the wall, then I assume that on the other side it's more demon society then. And maybe she feels a bit more safe at home with other humans as opposed to demons. We got the terminology that that like Isabella and, you know, the demons and whatnot actually refer to the children as, and it's plants. Whereas before it was more this idea that they were probably cattle. It's actually more like plants. Which is very like, which is very interesting. Like, I wonder what the reasoning for that is, if there is at all a reason, because I mean, because humans are more animal than plant. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking, is there a reason for that? I don't know. I know there's like the flower thing, like that seems to be very symbolic, like the red flowers and whatnot. So I don't know. I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe maybe it's just one of those things. I don't know. I'm guessing it's. That's the only thing I can really like compare it to. The reason why they would call them plants, because that the flower thing keeps like the red flowers and whatnot keep showing up. So yeah. Ray has an interesting sort of perspective on the whole. He sort of looks at it from like a different perspective than I think Norman does, which makes him like that makes him like the interesting one of the group. And I think I've said that since episode 1, but his sort of way of looking at things is different to the other two, in that like he's looking to, you know, like one of the first things he said this is good. Because now we get more information, and he's like not wrong. By having a new person come in, you know what I mean, it's more likely, you know, for something to trip up, essentially. I think that just goes double, just for the fact that Sister Krone doesn't, you know. Her and Isabella aren't on the same page, you know. So, yeah. He's also saying he's like planning to fucking kill them, fucking with the knife symbology there. I mean, that would definitely. I don't want to say definitely be the best option. I mean, killing them off would mean that you don't have to worry about, you know, being caught and whatnot when you make your escape. It's more about what happens really after you escape. So yeah, I mean, I would be interested to see like who would actually do it. You know what I mean? Like who would fucking kill someone. There was a phone call that was happening, or it was like over radio. I don't know. But they mentioned the Tafari, so I'm guessing that is the name of the species of those demon things or whatever. Either that or Tafari's like the name of like the sort of like this religious figure or whatever, because we went to a sort of like a scene where there was a table of demons or whatever, and one of them referred to you know, the guy who was like above them, you know, and he said like we offer our prayers to him or whatever the fuck. So I feel like maybe there's some almost like religious sort of figure that's higher up on the hierarchy that could be called Tafari, or Tafari is the general name for the demons, like, you know, species themselves. So yeah. When they were talking as well over the phone or radio, whatever it was, Isabella mentioned any child at any time. So that basically rules out the idea that it's going to be 2 months. I remember saying, I can't remember if it was after episode 2. I think, yeah, it must have been, because that's when they revealed that it was going to be 2 months. I basically said, you know, it's going to be one of those things where, oh, they're going to think they have 2 months, because that's what it usually is. Like, that's how it works on the fucking... you know, every 2 months a kid gets shipped out, but now because they know that shit's hitting the fan, they're going to change up the schedule. It's going to be like, you know, in 1 month's time they're going to send a kid out. You know, it's going to be something like that. And the fact that he said any child at any time basically confirms that. I have no doubt in my mind that will happen. A kid will go out earlier than planned. Back to when Isabella and Krone were talking, there's something that was interesting that caught my attention, and it kind of makes me worried, because it was specifically when the three kids, right, Emma, Norman and Ray, when they were talking in the forest, there was like a camera motion, right, like someone was watching them, right, and that would sort of imply that it isn't Ray who's the traitor, right? But I'm guessing the person who's watching them is supposed to be the traitor. I guess that's what you're supposed to take from it. The thing that really sort of keeps me in doubt over Ray is the... Well, first of all, right, there's a number of different things. Since episode 1, right, and all of this went down, whatever, he's seemingly been the... Out of the 3 characters, he's the one that isn't as involved, right? So he's the one that's, like, almost looking on from afar. He seems to know, like... Especially in, like, episode 1. And some moments in episode 2 before he confronted them. He seemed to, like, you know more than he was letting on, or whatever, right? But the thing is, because they've made this a story element where, alright, there's a traitor, right? It's one of the kids. Who's it going to be? I think they made a note to show the girl with the glasses way too much. You know, it could be like a double, you know, what do you call it? Like a double switch where, like, a double fake out where they're like, you know what I mean, like focusing way too much on the glasses girl, so obviously people will be like, well, it's not going to be her then, is it? Obviously, because you're focusing way too much. That would be so stupid if it is. So you go like, all right, well, it's definitely not her, and then it actually ends up turning out to be her. They could be doing that, but you know what I mean. I'm going to say it's too obvious. I'm going to plant my foot down. It's too obvious that it's going to be her, so it's not going to be her. I have a feeling that Emma, Norman, specifically those two, are going to sort of out her as the traitor, and then she's going to be the one that gets shipped out early. And they're going to be like, fuck, it wasn't her. I can see that being the case. And that's why I another reason, right, as to why I'm always in doubt about Ray, if he is the traitor. Is because when Isabella and Krone were talking in the room, Isabella mentioned 2 kids. She didn't mention 3. Now, if I didn't know more about, like, you know, the idea that those 3 are always together, I would have just assumed that, alright, the reason why Isabella's saying just 2 kids, Emma and Norman, is because, you know, Ray wasn't sort of... He wasn't actually included in the finding of Connie and whatnot, and so he was a bit on the outside. But those 3 are still always sort of like collectively together, right? And her being the mother, you would think that she knew that. So it's interesting that the choice of words were 2, like she's you know, she's already suspecting 2 kids, Norman and Emma, but not Ray. So I'm just laying doubt out there. I'm not saying it's Ray because, you know, because I just don't want to. You know what I mean? I'm just all I'm saying is I don't think it's the glasses girl because I think it's too obvious. Ray is called into question because of, you know, the things that I've just mentioned. So it has to be someone else. I don't know. I like the fact that they're using Tag as training, like under the guise of just playing around, but in reality they're teaching them all the tricks. That's going to be so cool. Like if it gets to the point where they use all their training to fucking to you know, to escape and whatnot. Yeah, that's cool. They figured out that the tracker, where they're being tracked, must be, you know, placed within them. I thought it might have been just a mark that they have, you know, some fucking technology based shit. They were pointing out, like Ray was pointing out and stuff, that, you know, due to, like, you know, humanity's technology at this time is only this, so it can only be a number of different things. And I'm like, well, how do you know? You've only ever been inside the walls. Yeah, like that's what technology might be, you know, inside these walls, but outside of it, you have no fucking clue. It could be fucking, you know, all this future tech. So yeah. Fucking right. So back to fucking Sister Krone. Here I am going like, all right, she's gonna end up being like the weak link in the chain and shit, and this is gonna be good for the kids because they can use her as sort of like a fucking, you know, as a tool to help them in a way. And then during the fucking tag training, she knows fake footprints, and she's setting traps for them and shit, and she's knowing how to do this kind of stuff. So she's not as fucking ditzy as I thought she may have been at the start. I thought that was clearly lined up from the beginning, and she was like, oh, instead I'm gonna fuck Isabella over, and I'm gonna do it for myself. And I'm like, right, this is good. She seems like a bit of an idiot, because she seemed a bit overly enthusiastic about being like, oh, Isabella, you're great, I'm so honored to be under you and stuff like that. But you know what I mean, I was fully expecting her to be completely different, but she's actually a bit of a fucking menace, to be honest. She's actually at this, like, she's more scary than Isabella now, so that's not good. Especially when Isabella's just able to just sit around and, I guess, you know, collect data and shit like that. Oh god, like, the thing is that Isabella could easily be playing these kids at their own game. You know what I mean? This idea that, like, oh, let's you know, put the feelers out there, acting like maybe we have, like, you know, get Emma in the group, like, thinking that there's actually a traitor, you know what I mean, and basically just calling in like that glasses girl, like, into her room, like, every now and again, you know what I mean, just to, like, you know, to play with them, to maybe, you know, lure them out, kind of thing. There's a lot of shit that can fucking happen. Sister Krone made some, when Emma was hiding behind the fucking rocks and whatnot, and she pointed out Emma, Norman's, and Ray's weaknesses, and I'm wondering if these are going to come into play at some point. So Norman is his physical strength is you know, that's what he's weak with, is physical strength. Emma's is her naivety, and Ray's is to make decisions fast, but he abandons them just as quick. So, you know, if he gives up too quick and stuff like that, I'd say the good thing about that writing is I can't tell if it was just there for dramatic effect while she was searching for Emma, or it was put there as dramatic effect plus setting up what could possibly be the case in the future. Because any of those weaknesses could end up getting them killed, or getting somebody killed, you know? I think the play on weakness is very apparent, and I think it may end up being a downfall for somebody in the future. But we're just gonna have to fucking wait and see. I feel like it's something else I need to talk about, and I can't fucking remember. I have a fucking note. I wrote down a note where I just said based upon, and I didn't finish it. I didn't finish the note, so I can't remember for the fucking life of me what it was. God damn it. I'm sure I'll fucking pick it up again when I'm editing. But yeah, that was all for this episode. So yeah, a really good episode. Like, this fucking show just keeps you on edge, like, all the time. You know what I mean? I think the writing is quality, because every episode, aside from episode 1, because I feel like the big thing was, oh, it's an orphanage and shit like that, but, you know, I was just like, yeah, it's fucking dark undertones, something's gonna fucking happen, and I had that one planned out. But the past 2 episodes, I feel like there's a sort of like a they sort of set you up to believe that you've kind of got to figure out exactly what's going to happen or what's going on in the episode, and then it kind of just, like, switches the script, and you kind of just, like, left, like, you just don't know what the fuck's happening, you don't know what's going to happen. It's great. So yeah, I'm liking the writing in this show, so it's good. But that is all. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below I have links to certain things. One is a Discord. Get yourself over there. You know, join me in the community, because, you know, we're over there. Come and talk to us. SirMonkeySuit.com. All my content is over there. Get yourself over there, become a member, whatnot, get access and, you know, forums and shit like that. Everyone watch my fucking, you know, if you're interested in games, watch my Resident Evil 2 remake playthrough that I'm doing with Mike. The first episode is up already, and episode 2 should be up as of now, I think, maybe. If not, I'll give it, like, you know, a few hours. And Patreon. So I do have a Patreon. If you don't want to support me, that'd be very much appreciated. There's a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So there is early access, $5 a month. That gives you access to shows a week early. And it gives you access to 4 episodes of Fate every week, 2 on Monday and 2 on Friday. There's the full length. That's $10 a month. That gives you access to my full length library. Everything I actually gets a full length, including this show right now. Exclusive tier. That is the $15 a month, so that gives you access to a bonus show that I'm currently reacting to, which is 7 Deadly Sins. So get yourself over there and watch my reaction to that if you're interested. $50, that is the elite tier. Every time you pay $50, you get a choice of a show that you want me to react to, and I will react to it. It will go to the bad of the list behind about 7 shows. My team will get round to it, but I will do eventually. But if you don't want to wait that long and you want to go at the very front and the top of the queue, then you want to get God tier, which is $100, and that means that your show will be reacted to next. But that is all. So thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.